TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Right. What were your initial impressions of Verne when you went to AWA? How'd that come about?
I never had any impressions of Verne. I mean, I'd heard, stories and story after story that he was egocentric, and he was. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that he wasn't. I mean, and I was talking to some people downstairs, how history of wrestling could have very easily have changed. I mean, Hulk Hogan had already worked for Vince Sr. and had his 6 months run and made these $110,000 or $120,000 or whatever it was, and was now working for Verne. And it was a different ballgame because you worked very hard when you, in that 6 months that you worked for McMahon Sr., because you were working 8 days in a 7-day week. In other words, you were working 6 days and twice on Sunday.
Right.
Usually an afternoon show and then an evening show. And it was a very hectic schedule. I mean, you're on the road, you're living out of a suitcase. And when, as far as I know, when Hogan went to Minnesota, he liked it because in Verne's territory, you were working 3 days a week, 4 days a week max. So he had a lot of days off, and he liked that. Yes, it took you a year to make the same money that you could make for, Vince
right.
in 6 months, but you had that, that freedom, that ability to have a day off every now and then, or every, 3 days off a week. So my understanding from some of the guys that were there was all that Hogan wanted was the belt. But Verne, Nick Bockwinkel, that's it. We're the only champions. And so they wouldn't let him in. And that's when I understand that his decision when Vince called him and said, "Hey, come out here. This is what we got planned." And he didn't really want to go, but
right.
It obviously worked out, to his benefit and to Vince's benefit.
Yeah.
And again, it was to the detriment of the AWA. And again, look at the guys that Hogan took with him. I mean, one of them is right downstairs now, Gene.
Yeah.
He took him with him. He liked him. He liked his interview style. Liked his enthusiasm. So,
do you think around this time period that Vince had already beaten Verne by then, or?
Well, yes. In all honesty, I think that during a period of time there with myself, Snuka, the Rockers, Rose, we were giving him a run for his money in some of the markets, but we weren't in a lot of his markets. And when we would put on a show, that was going to mean something, then Vince would either come with a loaded card right before or right after.
Right.
So he was doing, his best to head us off at the pass, so to speak. And like I said, he did a damn good job of it. So, he just outfoxed Verne.
You think Verne was out of touch?
Out of touch? Yeah, I think he was out of touch. But he was out of touch because he was egocentric. I mean,
right.
Again, going back to the incident where if he would have given Hulk Hogan the belt, and people could have forgot about Verne, and people could have forgot about Greg, and people could have forgot about Nick. Then again, I don't think Nick had anything to do with it. But again, I think it was oh Jesus Christ, people will forget about me if this big Hulk Hogan gets in here, and that's the way I think he thought.
Did you ever work for Fritz, or was it?
No, never worked for Fritz. No, the one question I get most likely, and I'm surprised that you haven't brought it up, was, when I came back to the AWA, and I worked with the one Von Erich.
Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd had his foot removed, but nobody knew that.
I'm gonna go right to AWA right now. Actually.
Okay.
We can talk about AWA. How did you wind up going in AWA? And I'm surprised in the 80s you never went to Vince or Crockett. Was there any interest ever expressed towards you?
I was in Europe at the time,
Okay.
and I had absolutely no interest. I mean, I was making good money in Europe. I was over there, with my family. I mean, they were taking good care of me, financially, and I I didn't want to go anyplace else. I mean, it's a good deal. You're in the same town for, the shortest period of time is, I think there were some 3-day tournaments. But for the most part, you're there a month. You're there 6 weeks in the same town, same place, same building. And it's easy. You get a chance to work out. You get a chance to, do a lot because you don't have to move.
Right. Is there anything that you want to say that you never had a chance to say to anybody out there watching this?
Oh, anything I want to say is, like I said, I don't have an axe to grind. I'm not going to humble anybody. I'm not going to break your back and fuck you up your ass. I don't have anybody that I want to see that happen to. Sure. I mean, a lot of times when, you had these long, god-awful road trips and you'd sit there with a car full of wrestlers drinking beer and you'd be very bitter over the way a promoter fucked you or about something, and we'd put him on your dead list. And if I get a fucking serious fatal illness, I'm going to go shoot that son of a bitch. I'm going to take him out with me.
Right.
And all wrestlers had that kind of a list. A lot of that list took care of itself. In the form of retribution. I mean, some of the evil promoters, had their own problems in life.
Right.
Whether it was an ill wife that hang on for a number of years, or a queer son, or
right.
a fucked up kid, or So they basically, a lot of that retribution happened. So it wasn't necessary for me to carry that hate and go forward with it. I've got people I'd rather not be around, and I no longer have to be around. But again, in this business, you have people that you respect and people that you got no respect for. But the fact is, if you're a professional, you'll still work with that person, putting your personal feelings, aside for the purpose of the promotion, or basically for the purpose of making money. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that I never cared for, and I didn't spend any time with them. I didn't have to go with them or ride with them or do anything like that. I just had to go out and do my little shtick with them.
Right.
Thank you very much. Nice match. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll work again sometime. And that was the extent of it. Again, I didn't have to go drink a beer with him. I didn't have to like him. I didn't have to like his family. I didn't like his wife. So an axe to grind. There are people that, I still, for some reason, they still don't care for to this day. Is there any point in me raising my blood pressure up to think about them? No, not really.
TitleMatchNetwork.com